Hello and welcome to the Ydcast, everybody. It's season 9, week 3. I'm Guillaume of the Saiyans.
I'm Evil, supporter of Booze.
Malachi, coach of the androids.
Of the Saiyans?
I
When did you become a coach?
I've been a coach for a long time now. Just my poor brain. I'm in exam season.
It's melting away. All right, let's go over all the teams that won and lost in week 3. In the first match, it was Saiyans versus Namek, in which Namek thoroughly destroyed us. Match 2, it was Blaze versus Rambo Warriors, which Rambo Warriors pulled out a very exciting win. Match 3, Afterlife with Margins. I believe a very close match with Afterlife pulling it out. Then Androids versus Boo with Pool and Evil Boo making a little bit of a dance at the end, and Evil Boo pulling out the win.
Woo!
Their first win.
Ooh.
Cold versus ED, where it looked like Cold might win, and then Mid Goku got a little mad. Match 6, Derp versus Gohan's. Yeah, just a little. Derp versus Gohan's a very close match that ended up in Gohan's favor. Match 7, Muscle versus Rugrats. Muscle winning it at the last second. And match 8, Vals versus Ginyu, in which Vals thoroughly beat Ginyu. Let's get into our main topic, which is there's only 2 teams. One team with an undefeated record and one team with no wins at all. And those teams are ED, who hasn't lost, and Ginyu, who has done nothing but lose. Let's talk about ED first. And we'll work into Ginyu after. They are a little scary this season.
They are. That being, I think they have everything together, so I don't want to say that. But I also feel like a lot has just been RNG in their favor too. So week 1 was against the Ginyu Force, and honestly, Ginyu just didn't really have their stuff together in time for that. And then week 3, I mean, we have Mid Goku, who threw out and hit with 2 ultimates right in a row, whereas Frieza didn't get a chance to ult at all.
Mm-hmm. It was a little painful, and I mean, one of their characters currently has an average of, and this is Mid Vegeta, having an average of 81,000, so that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And they do have a character that's averaging 15,000 in Tien.
Yeah,
so,
Tien's definitely the weak link right now.
I think they'll get a couple losses eventually, but I argue they might be a better team than last season by decent margin, considering Mid Vegeta was a weak point for them last season, and he's not looking like it. And Mid Goku's back to his season 6 self, which is terrifying.
It is. I have to agree. As I was saying earlier, I don't want to take anything away from them because I think they've got their team together. I mean, I would be very, unless something just falls off the rails between now and the end of the season, I mean, they're probably going to be chomping for the top spot of the league going into the playoffs if this keeps up.
Yeah, they got good consistency.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And even with Tien being their quote-unquote weak link, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't buy that for a second. I mean, just kind of looking at the lineups they had in week 1 and 2, he was supposed to be their closer. So, I mean, that 15K could just be, hey, he did 15K to win the match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I will say, though, out of the rest of their team, I do think he's the weakest as far as being a weak link. I don't think there is a weak link on this team.
Yeah.
They're so good top to bottom. We'll see for sure with the coming weeks because Tien hasn't got a chance to prove himself. At least we don't think so. But he's shown in the past he can average his 40K. Let me go through Super Saiyan Mid Goku's build because it frustrates me to no end that this works on him. Super plus 2, Key minus 1, Kabito Secret Heart, Light Body, Indignation, Fighting Spirit, Savior, and, well, in the upcoming week he's got a boost of Super plus 1, but that's his normal build. It's annoying that he was able to charge up to max power during cold. Then for one of those ults, he didn't even have to use his B1 stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I think for both, actually.
No, he went now on Mad against Cooler.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
Cooler
right.
a little also. So, yeah, I have never seen any character. I don't know why the AI works so well for him. I've never seen any character be so efficient with going to max power off a B1 and then tossing an alt.
So the biggest thing that goes into it is he has 6B1 stocks.
Yes.
And then on top of that, Now I'm Mad is a really fast B1. Especially when you compare it to someone like Ader, where I tried to do something like that for a while. And the problem is Howl just takes
Forever.
his max power B1 Howl, it takes forever and a half.
Yeah.
And even with something like Light Body there to, stop Ki Blast from knocking him out of it, he would still get knocked out of it because, whoever was shooting the Ki Blast at him could shoot the Ki Blast and still reach him and punch him out of it before he could complete it. So I mean, it's annoying that it works, but it's just like that. It's that perfect storm of everything.
Yep.
It is truly terrifying. It's not just that though. He has an ultimate that's pretty generic, all things considered.
Yep.
It's just a big beam. It's not even a huge beam. It's not like a super Kamehameha. It's just a beam. I can't believe he hits that often with that thing.
He just uses it at the right time, sets it up.
I know. It's amazing that the AI does that.
It is, and I mean, it's also really, really big. Its hitbox is not quite father-son Kamehameha big, but I mean, it's not far behind it. It's certainly bigger than a super Kamehameha hitbox. And then, as y'all said, you time it right, and it's going to hit, 90% of the time. And then even the other frustrating thing about this build is, even if he doesn't go and use his ult right away, he's got good melee. His other B2s are great. And I mean, it's just, it's annoying.
Yeah, he's back to being his old self, and it's scary.
Mm-hmm. I want to say though, by far the new difficulty change seems to have helped this team out tremendously. Considering mid Goku and mid Vegeta they're both B2 spammers to some degree. Mid Goku an alt spammer, but mid Vegeta definitely a B2 spammer, and the switch to a more B2 friendly. He's tossed out 18 so far. 18.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He's not even a B2 build.
No, he's just defense +2. His only B2 Patara's indignation. It is so surprising he can be that effective. And like just looking at his stat line, he's only hit with 8 of them, so it's not the greatest connection rate, less than half. But he's hit with 3 ults out of 3. And on top of that, his clash boost has won him 5 of 5 clashes. So there's again a little bit of RNG there, either with the lineup or with actual clashing. But regardless, this team, on top of having a strong core from last season, it just got better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Goku Vegeta time. Krillin, he's doing his job. The melee, hard-hitting melee with this Eternal Light to stay in there. Yamcha's doing fine, and Tien, I'm sure, is fine as well. Like there's not really a weak link. I guess Zendaya, who's not warming the bench as well as she could be. I don't know, but God, that team.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Zendaya is always a problem, even when she's not playing. Always. Anyway, this is probably the team to beat, but the team that hopes to stop getting beat is the Ginyu Force. Let's talk about them a little bit.
I feel so bad for them because a lot of their off-season testing looked so promising too. But I mean, now you look at, we're 3 weeks into their season, and of their 5 characters, Jace is sitting at the bottom at averaging 18K from 2 weeks. And no one's above 35K yet in terms of average damage.
Yeah, Ginyu is the highest with 31.
Yeah, and I mean that.
Okay, so
I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them at all. No offense, but almost everything that's going wrong for them is their fault.
I wouldn't necessarily agree there.
Yeah.
So we'll get to what I think you're discussing in a moment, but I don't think it's their fault that Birder, Jace, and Gotenks Boo aren't pulling more than 30K.
I do think it's their fault that they decided to go after that map, and now they have to put out Raccoon. There were other map choices. I think Raccoon was better than that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
I Go ahead, Jim.
it's more than just Goldo. If Goldo was the only problem, they might have been able to pull out at least one win. They definitely wouldn't have had that stat line for all their characters. Their builds don't look bad, and I'm sure they showed a lot of promise during the off season. This may
Yeah.
just be a RNG thing for the first 3 weeks. I mean,
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
let's face it. You first 3 weeks, you've got Earth Defenders, Androids, and Valkyries.
Yeah.
tough
That's a
set.
hard
Hard
lineup.
That
And then on
is,
top of this, against my team, they had didn't get their builds in on time and had their randomized lineup lose a number of their Pataras. Not all
Yeah.
of them, because Gotenks Boo ended up having, or they still ended up with 2 super plus 2s. But I
Mhm.
mean, even that one miss still wasn't able to help them enough to, it wasn't there to pull out that victory. So, I mean, on the one hand, yes, I think there is stuff here that is maybe problematic, like we were talking about maybe Golda being problematic, but at the same time, they, some of it could just be they're hitting the hard hitters of the league and people who they've traditionally had trouble with.
mhm.
Yeah, maybe it'll pick up after they get through that gauntlet. Maybe they just start off with a bad gauntlet. I don't know.
I'll say this much though. Yes, it was a very difficult gauntlet, but it's still a little unexpected they lose that badly to all of them. Again, RNG could play a factor, but that is some really bad RNG then. And there are some things about their other characters aside from Goldo's build that I'm not particularly fond of. Captain Ginyu holds a Master Strike, which I think he has decent B2s.
I think its B2s are good.
Yep.
Yeah, they do decent damage. They hit a fair amount. He's actually the spammiest on the team. He's thrown 7 and hit with 5, so that's actually kind of concerning. Um,
They took the Master Strike off of him in week 3, and does he have it in week 4?
oh, they did. Okay, cool, good.
Yeah,
I
that's
missed that.
That's quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, so
The
disregard.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the other issue I had was they seem to have free. I might be mistaken here, but they do seem to have free quick fast attack and serious laying around, and Birder's running Combo Master instead. And I understand Combo Master works the best on him. I will never think it's better than serious or quick fast attack in any situation.
Look at week 4.
Yeah, look at week 4. Birder's running with
Oh.
serious combo master and quick fast attack.
Okay. Oh, they switched his build up entirely. He went from super to
Yeah,
different
they
AI
went
entirely.
from
Also, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe changing things up will pull victory. I don't know.
yeah. It
What
looks
could
like they're
lose?
going. Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them for going back. I mean, Birder especially has kind of last couple of seasons they've kind of flip flopped with him a bit, where sometimes he's been a melee build and other times he's been a super build, and maybe we're just looking at when he goes back to being a melee build.
All right, I'd be fine with that.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I think it's probably the better build for Birder, considering just how fast his melee is and how Combo Master will work with that.
It doesn't hit
Um,
him.
So, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we will. We'll definitely see. But looking through their builds, the first 2 weeks, Gotenks Boo had Go on AI, got switched on to Sell AI week 3. I don't remember the first 2 weeks how he performed. It's been a while. I'm sure he wasn't well considering his stats, but
he did okay against my team. I think he finished off. Let me look at my lineup real quick. I think he finished off 16 and then fell to 8er, if
Yeah.
memory serves.
I think that's
he
what
did almost
happened.
40. He did almost 4K, 39 that week. Week 1 he had
Yeah.
29, I think, or 28 or something like that.
Well, everybody
Yeah.
got their butt kicked by Vegeta. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
how do you do in week 3?
Week 3 was horrible.
Yeah, that was your Rayleigh slaughter.
Yeah, that was 29, and he was on a different AI cell.
I knew Petard minus his B2 damage. All right.
It's a bit of a quick switch, but I don't know what AI he had during the preseason, so maybe it's not. 2 weeks is usually a little quick in my opinion, but Again, this
Oh,
might have been the AI they've been using the entire offseason, preseason. So in that case, it could be like a legitimate, like,
yeah,
oh my god, we've tested him so much.
yeah. Without
Mhm.
looking at their preseason builds, I'm not gonna comment there. Um,
Can I address it now? Can I address it now?
One more thing, because we are able to see week four's builds. Every character has a different AI.
Okay.
Every single one. Birder went from uh, Krillin to Trunks. Goldo went from Goku to Ginyu. Jace went from Yajirobe to Tien, and Ginyu went from Trunks to Default. I am so scared. I would never try that on my team.
yeah, four AI switches in 1 week. That's a little much. Um, especially considering like of those 4 people, realistically, I probably would not have touched Goldos or Ginyus, to be
No.
completely frank, because once they put Goldo on a real build and took him off that ridiculous 6 points into B1 builds, he's been doing, I think, as well as you can expect Goldo to do. Um, I
Okay, so here's the thing about his build. He never had a ridiculous B1 build in the main season.
no,
No. But I don't
I
agree with the super heavy defense.
I I have to agree to some extent, just because any as a general rule, I am opposed to giving characters with heavy defense negatives. And I think he still has a defense -2, right?
Yeah, he has a
think
defense
Or
so.
did
minus 2. They didn't
yeah?
fix that, no.
I know they buffed his. I think they buffed his defense, because I think it was like at a -3 to a -2.
Yeah, he's a minus
Um,
2.
but just as a general rule, I'm opposed to giving those characters defense builds, because you're not really you're more patching the wounds where they're weak rather than helping them be stronger where they're at. And I feel like there's other ways they could do this.
Mm-hmm.
They could make Goldo better. Just looking at their builds, what stands out to me is replace it with Key +1. I mean,
Yeah.
especially that frees up
Mhm.
a Patara point for something else. Whether that's a melee Patara that they have space for, whether like Sirius or quick fast attack, or indignation or something else. I don't know.
I don't think Dende's healing is a bad call. I think just keeping him alive a little longer is always a nice benefit for him. I
Yes.
I agree with you that he should be more on the B2 side of things. His melee is atrocious.
Yeah.
He has an attack.
Yep.
With this build, he has an attack -1. And it is so evident because he was fighting Aurelia, who had a defense -1. And
Yep.
he could barely do anything, even though he was getting his combos off.
Yep.
His
You're
B2
not
is
gonna
barely
address
does
it?
damage, man. Yeah, you.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if they want to go with the defense build, maybe just stick defense +2 on them instead. On to be completely frank.
Yeah.
Um.
I still think he should get like a super +1 or key +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, if for them, if it's a Patara thing where they say, hey, we've got 5 people to build for, we just think that other characters can better use that. Because the other thing with Ginyu Force is, unless I'm much mistaken, they don't have anyone in a tank slot. And if they're using Goldo for that, I mean,
That's not a good idea.
it's not a good idea. I think Raccoon would be the better option. But
Yeah.
I mean, if they're intent on using, now I do want to segue into talking about Raccoon real quick for that purpose, because this goes back into what y'all were saying earlier about the map kind of screwing them over at this point. You know, because Raccoon, no matter what AI you put on him, likes to do his grabs.
Mm.
Why are you on Frieza's ship?
Yeah, you're making it harder for yourself to switch someone out for Raccoon if they just don't ever improve.
Right. So
I want to say though they have a free super +1 open now that Bird's on attack +2, and they've always had a key +1 open.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what did you want to talk about, Jubal?
Okay. Let me just address the big old horse in the room. In what world did you think it was a good idea to start Goldo against the Vals? Like, Val's is a team that starts Aurelie, who will destroy Goldo. Fasha, who will destroy Goldo. Even Videl with her fast melee and her hard will destroy Goldo. You were already in a uphill battle to begin with. That wasn't smart. I just want to say that.
I want to say though, they probably went. We're gonna forego. We're not gonna consider past seasons too much. It's a fresh new season. Goldo has looked like the best on our team, so we're gonna start with him. Everyone else looks worse than him. We're just gonna go what we know this season. I think that's their logic there, and I don't completely blame them, but at the same time, I think Goldo has like a cap on how strong it can be, and I don't even know if it's 40k right now.
With a proper key build or super build, I think he could make 40k. But I think you're right. I think I think it would be a struggle to get him to 40k with what they're doing with him right now. But yeah, I kind of have to agree with Yubel here, where I just don't, unless they were hoping that Valves would start Garlic, I don't see anyone on that team that could have started that wouldn't have been a complete trashing of Goldo. I think Ginyu there would have been a much better option, but again, I don't know what their thought processes were.
Okay, I just want to address something real quick. Looking back at the bidding of the maps, they actually, their first initial bid for free Zero was Frieza's ship, when even their old map of King Castle was available.
Yeah, I think it was like a meme move. I'm not really sure why.
I don't know.
I never really understood it. They made the decision. They're gonna have to live with it.
Yep.
I think if what they're doing in week 4 indicates anything, it indicates that they might just be going into full testing mode, hoping they can figure stuff out before like week 7, and then try to go on a winning streak. Do the Gohans. Pulley Gohan. Don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah. Let's you guys ready to move on to free discussions?
Yeah.
Sure.
We've had a lot of teams do some weird things this week. How about we start with what happened in a couple matches, actually. It was 2 or 3 matches where Clash boosts lie.
Mal cheats.
Yeah. Yeah, they lied. And I'm not going to complain about this.
You're a cheater, Mal. You're a cheater.
Using them hacks.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like I think this even happened in the preseason, but ever since the main season started, I don't think 16's lost a Clash.
I will
check. And he's gone against Dragon Power opponents. So when he first beat Aurelie in week 1, I was like, she had Dragon Power. And then he does it twice against Oob, who also had Dragon Power. And it's like, okay, all right.
All right, what's going on here? Yeah, he's just making sure, because sometimes these things are a little.
Yep, he's taking some steroids, all legal.
Gave Oob that 2-piece chicken meal.
Did they work on a robot?
We're not going to talk about what kind of steroids he's taking.
Share. I want to win all clashes.
Just a little bit of rocket fuel here and there.
We had other ones, right?
Oh, yeah, that's why it's called Rocket
Power Rage Dragon Power. I think it was like Future Gohan beat Hercule.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was really weird. Everyone thought he had an innate Clash boost also. That's never proven, by the way. No one knows for sure. It's hard to check those things.
Yeah, let me double check.
It's like what the computer wants to do, and it's just win.
Yeah, Future had Power of Rage, and let's see, derp. Herc had Dragon Power.
Yep.
So, yeah,
it's another instance. This new difficulty's weird.
I mean, part of it is like, one of the things to remember is when there's a difference of a +1, it's not that big a thing. A +1 difference, you're still basically 50-50. So it's surprising that it works that well. It has worked that well consistently for me. I'm not going to complain. I hope it continues. So, yeah.
Yeah, it can be a lot of RNG, and sometimes people think the AI might have something to do with it. Who knows? Let's move on to another topic. Let's go. Let's keep it sort of in the same realm, since these both happened in the same match. A pool versus Evil Boo. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
Don't know.
It's like 5 heart attacks.
Yeah, and it was
Heart
like a
attacks,
5
strokes,
6 minute match between them alone.
and neither was a defense build.
Yeah, what is this? Evil Boo didn't
I'm
want to fight for like a good
Evil
3
Boo
minutes.
didn't want to hurt his old teammate from the previous season. That's what it was. They had
and then
good
he was
times together.
well, it was Evil Boo not hitting and then dodging all the B2s that a pull throughout.
Yeah.
Apul connected with some of them, but then Apul just didn't have that damage and wasn't doing enough. And then Evil Boo started healing with that Den Days and
Yeah,
that ultimate
that
double
last-
ultimate at the end. And
That,
as soon as
that
Apul did
last-
that, I was like, oh well, we lost. It was over. It was a good match. I just wanted a close one because we've been sucking, so I just wanted a good match. And Evil Boo dodged it. I was like, what?
yeah.
Counter?
A fun little
That-
sequence
that-
at the end.
that was, and
Just want to bring that little thing up because my God, you rarely get to see that. But let's move on to. Actually, why don't you guys pick our next topic? Which one do you
Mid
go for?
Goku.
You want to talk about Mid Goku? We did talk about his team, and we did talk about him a little. Let's talk about what he did specifically in Week 3. He absolutely obliterated Team Cold,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Well,
not
he
even
Destroyed
funny.
Frieza.
Yeah. Oh.
he ended up only doing 56K, but more than half of that had to be in terms of at least half of that was in terms of ultimate damage.
Oh yeah, no, he did over 30K with just ults. He did over 30K.
Yep.
Just the most brutal thing when he hit Frieza with that ult, it hurt for almost 20K, and then Frieza couldn't see him. He didn't charge up and toss another big two. No, he started ping pong Frieza, and Frieza still wasn't locked on. So you just see like this yellow marker fly around, appear in front of Frieza, smash him, and then disappear, and then fly around and appear for half a second again to smash Frieza. It was just the most brutal sequence I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Frieza
And,
never locked on again.
Nope.
Yeah, it was bad. Mid Goku is looking like his season 6 self, and I am terrified. I want to leave North Kai. Why did we come up here?
To push Earth Defenders back down to South Kai.
Good luck. Good luck.
Oh my God. Oh well, I mean Rugrats have a match Week 4, so
Yep.
that'll be a big one.
So-
Up to you guys. Would you
Yeah.
prefer predictions or to do one last topic?
I'd rather squeeze in predictions.
You prefer? To
I
do
don't
predictions?
particularly care.
Okay, we got one vote for predictions. I get saved from a final topic, so let's move to predictions. then.
Oh, so, well, I mean, if it's about a topic you don't want to talk about, let's do that.
No.
All right, let's move on to predictions. Just as a note, looking at the schedule, this was the last week where there were no divisional matches.
That is a good
Every
point.
week. Every week from here on out, there is at least one divisional matches starting this coming week where there are 3, and all of them will be in a row.
Yeah, it was a little interesting seeing the first 3 weeks just be like a little prep week for every single team.
Yep.
All right, but let's move on to predictions. Yubel, then Mal, then me will be the way we handle this.
What's nice is builds are up.
Choose your victor. Give 1 sentence max. If you go over, I'm going to cut you off. Let's start off with match 1, Majins versus Muscle. Yubel.
Majin's more consistent.
Mal.
Muscle, on the whole, seem a little bit stronger.
Me. I'm going to give it to Majins, and I'm not paying attention to who they put in. Match 2, Drama Warriors versus Namek.
Namek, no nom.
Oh, good point. Mal.
I'm going to have to give it to Namek.
It's unanimous for basically the same reason. Match 3, Vals versus Derp.
Val's more consistent.
Mal.
Let me look and see who Derp has in. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Valve. I don't. For me, it comes down to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta just does not seem like he's fixed.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Vals. They looked monstrous last week. On to match 4, Androids versus Cold. Now you're going to go last for this one.
Ooh, divisional.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go androids, just more consistent.
I'm also going to go Androids. Definitely more consistent.
Androids,
Wow,
you
I
know,
thought you were going to pick Cold.
because I'm biased and because we spent Zenny.
Yeah.
Oh, they were hoarding it. Okay.
They're doing the hoarding to drop 2 styles strong on somebody. Thankfully, that's not me.
All right. Afterlife versus Booze. You're going last. Mal.
Hard choice for me. I think I'm gonna give it to the Booze, just because I feel like y'all are slightly more consistent, but I could see it going either way.
I'm going to give it to Afterlife because you benched Kid Boo.
Kid Buu was our worst member.
I'm going to give it to Afterlife because you benched Kid Boo.
Oh. You want us to bench Kid Buu against you. That's why you're mad.
We already beat you. What do you mean?
I know, but usually you're like, bench Kid Buu. You go easy on us when you beat us, so I don't want to hear it. Your only win, I might add.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to give it to us because since we get to sit out Kid Buu, we get to use Eternal Life. Yay!
Okay. All right. Next match: ED versus Rugrats. Yubel.
We all say ED and move on. All right, next.
No.
No.
make your vote. ED for you.
ED, they're super powerful, super consistent, and they spend a crap ton of Zenny.
Wow.
I could give it to the Rugrats, except for the fact that ED spent a crap ton of Zenny on boosts.
It's the same reason. I actually think Rugrats have the stronger lineup in though.
All right.
I mean, I agree. Yeah. Just looking at the Rugrats builds, I think they have the better lineup, but I don't know that they can handle Earth Defender's lineup plus the boosts.
Yeah. Match 7, Gohans versus Saiyans.
Gohans. I'm sorry, but your Radisson is fixed, and you didn't use your Eternal Life, and they did, so.
This is Yubo's last Ycast, everybody. All right, Mal.
Let's see. I'm probably. Oh, Gohans don't have Teen. I might have to give it to you.
We don't have a nail in. We don't have nail in.
I mean, just from what I have seen of the rest of the team,
you just don't want to be kicked off the cast, man. Just go with it. Swallow the pill. Do it. Say it.
I mean, they're good, but I think you can take them.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're being
to
nice.
be completely fair.
You're still on the Ycast. Cool. I think it's gonna be Bardock versus the Gohans. That's what I'm not picking. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
That's not a good team to solo.
Yeah, that's not a good team to solo.
Shush.
No.
Okay.
Even with
Good.
Match Shade, Blades for Skin
Ginyu, I want you to win, but I don't think Blades is a team that you could do it against, especially since Janemba is in. Good luck, though.
Wow.
Wait, if it wasn't for the fact that Ginyu changed so much this week, on the one hand, it's probably their best chance to pull off a win and combine that with the fact that Blades have Tapion sitting out, but I still feel like all that experimentation is going to blow up, and so I have to give it to the Blades.
Yeah, the safe choice is picking the Blades, but because of what Ginyu did with their AI and their builds, it is a total coin toss.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of the Ycast, everybody. We got through predictions. I think we're a little over time, but whatever. If you guys have anything you want to yell at us about, any questions, blah, 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 down in the description, there's also a thread you can do it in on the forums. And yeah, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.